Hey Gemini, how are you guys? Let's do your reading real quick. Okay, so crazy. Wow. Right from the get-go we have, okay, so I was shuffling the Romance Angels, which I haven't used in a long time, but I was shuffling these and doing pre-shuffle, and the Deception card came out. All right, and then I was like, ooh, you know, no one wants to start a reading off with that. But then, look what came out in the next deck, the High Priestess. So there's like an inner knowing. The High Priestess represents somebody who is possibly psychic, but, you know, intuitive, knows things. She doesn't always to say it or talk about it, but she can feel, she's very sensitive and able to, I mean, she's psychic in the tarot, right? But for you guys, it's representing an inner knowing. And then what came out with that one was the Devil card. So it's got to feel, and this is just pre-shuffle, we'll lay out a spread. This may just be a little message for someone that doesn't have anything to do with the spread, so we'll see. But it looks like there's game playing with this Wheel of Fortune. I mean, you can see why I'm feeling that. It's kind of like, what shall I do? It's kind of like somebody's using gifts and maybe not gaslighting as much as love bombing, okay, to entice someone. And this is basically just saying, if this is possibly you, don't ignore it. Don't ignore your inner feeling, okay? And then this was at the bottom, the King of Pentacles, which is somebody that's very resourceful, possibly very, you know, has money, able to spoil. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say on that, and we'll see what else comes up. So how are you, Gemini? Hope you guys are well. I have been away. I haven't been very active. I've been trying to had some health stuff going on and some personal stuff, so hopefully I am back all the way, and I would love you guys to help get the videos picked up by the algorithm by hitting like and the forward button, copy link, leaving comments at the end of, so a lot of what I spend my time doing is researching, some of you guys already know this, you know, health and wellness and neuroscience, and I love sharing those things with you. So at the end of every video, I'm going to start sharing one of my, you know, discoveries or an idea that I think can better your lives, stuff like that. All right, so stick around to the end for that. Let's see. Okay, so this is kind of, okay, so we're definitely got something strong coming because this card showed up several times in the pre-shuffle. King of Cups, so there's love, a lot of emotion, somebody that, this could represent, you know, you dealing with, or you having a lot of water in your chart. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The Cancer reading was amazing. You guys should check that out. I think the Libra reading was amazing too. The Libra reading didn't get picked up by the algorithm, but it's a really good reading. It's about a really deep, profound love that just hasn't materialized yet, or isn't discovered, or isn't nurtured. Okay, so anyway, King of Cups, Page of Pentacles, could be an apology. Pages are messengers. This could be an apology or an offer, a positive, some sort of positive message. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys, you don't see this coming, okay? Seven of Swords. Okay, something, I'm going to have a hard time, I might have a hard time articulating this, but something I picked up in the very beginning that I didn't say because it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it might to you, is some of the false mask energy that I was getting could actually be like you or somebody not really being authentic with their feelings. Okay, and not out of a toxic place, but just out of fear or something like that. But look at this. King of Cups, we have a match here with this King and Queen of Cups. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, and communication in the middle. So Page of Pentacles in the middle. The Page of Pentacles this card represents an energy of wanting to learn. It's being open to learning and growing. So what I was just saying is when we have this deception, this feel of deception, in the very beginning, I felt strongly there. I don't really still know how to articulate, but it has something to do with the deception in some situations isn't somebody being like toxic, deception in a trying to take advantage way. It could be deception in not being true or authentic about your feelings, like maybe hiding them, being, the whole dismissive, avoidant attachment style. And that is where somebody, it just takes those people longer to, warm up to the idea and feeling trust towards love, so they kind of dismiss their feelings. They don't say a lot of sweet things. They don't show it. It's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because that just did come up with a couple times. Okay, so bottom of the deck we have Seven of Swords, avoidance, okay? And then we have the Moon card, which could be fear, but it's and things that are unknown, not showing up. Okay, so that's overall. Let's see, your energy. Let's take a look at you, what's going on with you and your energy. And then we'll look at the person you're dealing with. Could be a future person. Okay, Nine of Wands. So 9 of Wands is somebody who's been wounded in the past. King of Wands, somebody who takes a lot of action. And Knight of Swords. Wow, 10 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands. Communication or forward motion. 4 of Cups. So it does appear that we're going to put the person you're dealing with at the bottom and you at the top. It does appear that, like what I picked up on earlier, the someone that you're dealing with is now separate from that whole toxic situation, okay? But somebody that you're dealing with, unless this is you, because there's cross-watcher energy, so the roles could swap, right? But somebody thinks of big things, like wants the 10 of Pentacles, visualizes it, sees it, maybe gets in the moment and acts like they want the 10 of Pentacles, and maybe even they communicate it or they take action towards it, but then they might have to pull back. Now, men, I think masculines do this in general. Sometimes they pull back once they get, too close. They start questioning things. Can I do this? Do I have it in me? Will I make her happy? That sort of thing. 4 Cups. So it's kind of like the 3 of Cups. It's just like, if this is kind of like yes, I know I want this, I get all caught up in it, once in a while, but then I start overthinking it. Maybe I said too much. Can I really, was I just get caught up in the moment? So if you're in a really wonderful, or dealing with somebody really wonderful, strong connection, a lot of love, this may just be kind of an explanation of what goes on with them, the whole off and on thing. And typically, what a lot of specialists or love counselors will say is men do pull back, but they will come back stronger. They need that space, that cave. And they also need to feel like they have the ability to make feminines happy. And it's not gender specific. So if it's a same-sex relationship, it still probably has a masculine and feminine, dynamic or role in there. Okay, so, and we all have both. So, you got to put that where it goes. But there's an element of, what this looks like? It looks like this dynamic happens where there's a lot of love here, king and queen, right, of cups, and there's like a wanting to grow or learn, but one person gets to where they go all in or everything is wonderful and then pull away, and then the other person gets wounded and wants to make action and take action and come forward, like, what the heck happened? And it's like a clash, So gosh, it's like kind of like maybe some of you guys are just kind of like stuck in that dynamic of where then this person might come back and be sweet and have kind of recovered, but they left, what they don't realize is they left you or the other person wounded and from the in and out. Oh goodness. Okay. So, I mean, I'm just telling you this from my point of view, this is not tarot, but my point of view and all the research and all the love experts and stuff I've listened to and a lot of the tarot, the advice for that is always to just not rely 100% on someone else to fill your cup. You know, you got to fill your cup with your own activities, so that when somebody pulls away, that's not your only source of happiness. You have your friends you can be busy with, you have your workouts or your job or your, fixing up your house or your hobbies that you can fill your cup with, because even when you're married and you are completely committed and the security's there's still going to be the ups and downs of, kind of there's times where we're really close and then we kind of, hit a dip and we're not so close. It's just kind of, it's never totally still. It's always a wave. So when there's those waves, and it's actually better when you don't rely on them and you don't feel 100%, reliant on someone. So even if this doesn't, just for relationships in general, there's always the wave, and it's always healthier to not be stuck together and totally reliant on the other all the time for pure happiness. It's very healthy to have lives outside of each other. Okay, so walking away. I feel like I just saw that, Two of Pentacles. So maybe there's a decision whether to end it or not, or even try anymore. And remember, we had that. There's also, looks like there's a decision, maybe part of it is whether or not I should block and totally run. Yeah. So if that's what you need to do because it's so toxic that it consumes you and you can't move on, then, maybe you need to do that. I'm not a fan of blocking or ghosting. So I just don't think that, unless somebody is really toxic and terrible and you need to get away from them, yes, absolutely. But if it's not somebody that's intentionally like that, then I'm not a fan of that. Wow, King and Queen of Pentacles. Now we have two sets. Queen of Wands, fire, action. Wow, see? This has potential. It has potential. I mean, it's so aggravating that somebody pulls back, but it has potential in the end. The Lovers being chosen, and then the Empress. Can't be a doormat though either, too, right? So, but that's what it looks like's happening. It looks like somebody is a dismissive avoidant. You might want to look into that, what that means, how to handle it. Are you compatible? Maybe you're not compatible for someone that's a dismissive avoidant. Maybe it makes you anxious. I do think there are ways to communicate that you can get through it though. Like, okay, well, maybe, if you're not going to call me every day or every week, or not every week, but if we're not going to talk for a few days, what I do need to, feel good about it is XYZ, or make plans with me ahead of time so when we see each other, let's make plans ahead of time for the next time so that I don't get in my head and worry, It's just everybody, so their needs might be different than yours in needing space and time to grow things slowly and to trust. So when there's a dismissive avoidant that is partnered up with somebody that is, fearful, and they get, upset because of not feeling important, and then they pull back, then it sets the dismissive avoidant back too. So sometimes at some points you just got to decide if you're compatible with this person. I really think it's helpful to make sure you're so busy that you don't have time to dwell, because that's a lot of what I come across in tarot is too much time to overthink and question. And just because somebody isn't all you know, goo over you at the moment doesn't mean they won't be in 5 minutes. It just always fluctuates. But you got to have your stuff going on too. Yeah, you've got, I mean, this definitely, look at the Six of Cups. So definitely needs to be some communication of, you know, this is what I need to feel secure. But it looks like somebody's coming back with an apology. Yeah, look at this. Wow. Amazing. So I would say if somebody does come back with an apology, then make sure you're not, you know, totally pissy with them or snappy, that you are able to, you know, say when XYZ happened, or when you didn't call for 3 days, or when you XYZ, that I took that as meaning XYZ, and this made me feel like this, like this, like this. Can we talk about a way to do things differently? You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, you got somebody coming in. I think you're dealing with a dismissive avoidant. Some of you are dealing with someone toxic, okay, so let's not forget that. If that's the case, then, you know, the rest of this doesn't really matter, because if you're dealing with someone toxic, I don't know, do you want to stick in there with them and try and fix them? No, probably not, right? I hope this reading is helpful. Lean on your friends. Look at that Judgment. And just remember, everybody has their struggles for you know, whatever they've been through. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a judgmental way of dealing with it, but it can just be kind of like, well, maybe we're not a fit because of this, or we may not be a fit because of this XYZ, but if we can tweak things to where, you know, you let me know, or, you know, my needs are met too, or I'm not left wondering because you're pulling away or you need space, then we could, you know, maybe it'd be a great fit. There's a lot of love here, but there's a lot of learning that needs to be done. So remember, the page is communicative, it's a message, and it's solid. This is Page of Pentacles, is somebody who's willing to learn. It's communication, and it's not small talk. So sometimes dismissive avoidance will try to repair things with small talk, and that makes the other person frustrated. So it kind of like is, can we talk about how to do things differently next time? So I don't, you know, feel the way I feel when you need your space or whatever. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, well, very confusing reading. I mean, it could be, and it doesn't have to be. This deception, you're going to know if you're dealing with somebody that you think is extremely deceptive. I think you're going to know that, okay? But the other sense, what this card could mean in a different way is, it could mean that, you know, somebody's pretending they don't care, or isn't showing, or is pretending that they're okay, or that they're not bothered when someone else pulls away. I'm going to read that. That's crazy that just came out. So hopefully this wasn't even more confusing. Hopefully this was helpful in some ways. This is a card. This card is a loving nudge for you to be aware of deception within a relationship. It could involve something mild, such as run-of-the-mill politeness, where your partner is afraid. Wow. Of offending you by sharing true feelings. Perhaps you're the one wearing the mask because you aren't disclosing something to your partner. That's crazy. That's what I've picked up on. So deep down, you know what this card pertains to. The romance angels are trying to protect your heart. Please say this invocation either silently or aloud. I ask that you give me, romance angels, I ask that you give me very clear guidance that I can easily notice and understand, to reveal the truth about the situation to my conscious awareness. Then notice and trust the signs that follow. This card is also a reminder to you about the importance of being genuine with your partner. Although discussing your true feelings may be uncomfortable, it will improve your relationship on many levels. Well, there you go. That just summed it up. I'm glad I read that. Okay, so I'm going to do a yes, no, and y'all let me know, okay? You guys take a deep breath and think of a question. Pause the video if you need to. But while you can ask a question, don't change it after I let go, okay? And then I wanted to tell you the process that I'm teaching you guys, and I think we're going to pull another romance angel. But the new process I'm doing is so awesome. I'm calling it the glow technique. But it basically, look at that. You got a maybe. It basically, so the maybe would, like, say, for example, you asked, are we going to be together? You know, I think the maybe means it's up in the air depending on how each person, you know, can handle things and what's said and done. It's not a definite yet. Now it's on yes, so I think it's definitely a possibility. But there's true feelings need to be exposed here, okay? But the glow technique, so what I'm doing is when I visualize somebody I'm thinking about, and I will literally just close my eyes, visualize them smiling and happy, and sometimes they're looking at me, sometimes not, depending on who it is, just smiling and beaming, and I surround them in my imagination, I surround them in my vision with a just beautiful glow of love and light, and I just put them in this space, I hold space for them in that light for a few moments where they're just happy and they're blessed and they have all the blessings that they want in their world, and they're healthy, and I just hold on to that, and then, you know, sometimes I'll just like kind of like hold my hand over my heart and just kind of like send out that energy. But I'm trying to do that whenever I do it when in the comments, when I read the comments, I'm just making a habit of it, sending that kind of energy to others, and especially if it's like somebody I'm worried about, where I think about them and then I worry about one of my kids or something, like I worry about them being in the car or driving or something like that. I will do it to them. It's just kind of like sending, you know, a positive intention over somebody that you care about. Now, of course, we need to do it to ourselves too, right? So anyway, I love you guys. Let's talk in the comment. Oh, I was gonna pull one more card. One more card. I hope this is helpful. Oh, okay. I gotta tell you, this came up. This came up in the a lot of wedding energy came up in the pre-shuffle. But here, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. That could be the person that you're dealing with. Could be you. But look at what's next. Someone from your past is returning, and there's a soulmate involved. So. What I definitely want to say is this could be two situations. You could be dealing with somebody with the toxic, you know, deception, and then there could be another situation with someone else that comes and goes that maybe you need to have a little more tolerance for. And maybe that's the one, you know, for some of you, I think there is two situations. Okay. And maybe you're more apt to even tolerate and entertain, you know, toxic people because you feel like you missed out on something else that really could just use some nurturing and some communication, you know. All right, so, wow, pretty full reading there. You guys, let's talk in the comments. I love you so much. Please hit like, tap the bell. Make sure that it says it's, you know, when you're subscribed that you tap the bell and it's set to all so that it's not defaulted to like a different setting for, when you tap the bell, it's for your notifications. Make sure all is selected so you get get notified when I post a video, okay? I'm gonna post every day now. I love you guys. Bye, Gemini.